The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Go, Bill.
It's Monday after a Cowboys win.
Victory Monday?
It is a Victory Monday, and what am I not hearing? There you go.
I think he just wanted to beg.
I think I heard Mike McCarthy say that after the game in the locker room. Victory Monday.
Victory Monday, that means a victory fight song. The Stampede. It's a victory over Washington, no less, and Chris Beam asleep at the wheel.
When you hear that song, you think of Washington.
That's
Dallas
exactly
back
right.
in the day. That's the first team.
That's right. Ah, yes. As predicted, here inside the Star in Frisco, a Cowboys win on Sunday in Landover, Maryland at FedEx Field. And the Cowboys now have a commanding 3-game lead in the NFC East with 4 games to go.
Did you guarantee that win?
I did not have to guarantee the win.
You didn't have to guarantee
because the head coach
right.
supposedly guaranteed it, although I never heard the word guarantee.
I never did either.
mentioned, but
Well, we
going
co-signed his statement, though.
That's right.
Yes, we did.
in fact, on Friday, we all co-signed it with our predictions. And okay, let's start there. What was your prediction, Everson?
I was 1 point off. 28-20 was my score.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
28-20. But I said Diggs would get a pick. And he actually had a tough game.
Well, you should have
What
had
did you have, Mickey?
24-21.
24-21
pick
and
to click?
C.D. Lamb.
Huh, wonder what mine was.
Oh, shut up. Bill was 27-17. So you blew it. All right, next subject. Go ahead. What's going on? No, that's it.
The pick to click.
Oh, what?
Pick to click.
I can't read that. I don't know. Carson?
Parsons.
See, you can't go wrong if you just pick Parsons. Parsons
right.
is my pick to click every week.
No. But really, for real, as good as he's been playing, this was it. I mean, this was like, whoa, this guy's really could be another Lawrence Taylor. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just really could be it.
A rookie that wins Defensive Player of the Year, and Mickey's the one who discovered him. No one else had discovered him. It was Mickey who discovered him.
I'm the one that said,
Who needs?
if it's not just a linebacker, what if he's Lawrence Taylor? And somebody said, oh, you're going to go there? And I said, okay, you watch.
Dude, he is.
And now everybody's bringing up Lawrence Taylor's name.
It is crazy. He is taking over games by himself, just setting the tone.
Well, and you should have seen what they were trying to do to him. When you go back and look at it, they were trying to double him with 2 offensive linemen. They tried to
Depending on which way he went. Right.
They tried blocking him with a tight end silliness. Yeah.
And wound up with a running back on him one time.
Ron Rivera should have worried more about Randy Gregory and Micah Parsons than what Mike McCarthy had to say. And then they were trying to chip him with a running back. That ain't going to work, right? That 5-man front, no matter where they put him, was dangerous because they caused them to single block everybody across the middle to the point they left their poor center get hurt because Neville Gallimore ran over him for a sack.
My brothers, did y'all? That was just amazing. I don't think I've seen. I'm sure. I hope they're okay. I get all that, but that had to be the most embarrassing, dominating play I've seen in a long time. I mean, not only did he bull rush the center,
yes,
and into the quarterback, he injured both of them.
Both of them,
not just one of them. He injured both of them. They're both laying on the ground, and Randy Gregory's going over there crazy, like, dude, who are you? Oh my God, what happened? Oh man, it was the most. That particular play was typical of how they felt about Washington's offense.
Yeah,
they just disrespected them. Did we blitz much at all?
I don't know if you
considered
want to
bringing five.
Bringing five as a blitz, but when he's lined up in the line of scrimmage, what do you think he's doing?
Yeah.
Especially when it's passing situation, he's not playing strong side linebacker. He's probably coming, and the play at the end, when Gregory forced the fumble, he just beat DeMarcus Lawrence to it, because DeMarcus Lawrence, and they doubled DeMarcus Lawrence on the left side of the Cowboys line, and he still got there. And had Randy not forced the guy in, he would have gone right into DeMarcus Lawrence. It was like a feeding frenzy.
The other thing about it, when they bring those five,
it was a feeding frenzy. That's exactly what it was.
When they bring those five, even if they run a draw play, you feel pretty good that Parsons, or especially Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence, can come off the pass rush and tackle the ball carrier if they ran a draw play or something. So they're protected even if they don't throw the football.
Right.
Just their athleticism and their ability that they've already shown, demonstrated that they can play the run as well.
I know everybody wanted to make a deal out of the 5 sacks, all right? But they also had 4 tackles for losses, 9 quarterback hits, and 8 passes defensed, meaning they got their hands on 8 passes. Not to mention forcing,
no one keeps that record.
No one forcing 3 fumbles.
That's a high number of passes.
Right, to get your hands.
I don't think I've ever heard that number as far as passes
it was almost,
in one game.
It was almost like the passes Washington was throwing up. It was like 50-50 balls. Well, we'll just see what happens here. Well, they hit on one, right? Because he should have got a pass almost defensed on the touchdown, because his hand was in the air with the ball.
I don't know if Dorrance Armstrong got credited with a pass defensed on Randy Gregory's interception or not, but they actually had 2 passes defensed on one pass there. Randy knocked it up in the air, but prior to that, Dorrance Armstrong got his hand on it.
Great timing. That's hard to time something like that. Yeah, and then just to be able to jump that high and make that kind of move, have that kind of body control from an instant. It's not like he planned that. Oh, he tipped it. Oh, let me adjust my angle. No, he just kind of reacted. Boom, went up. And
Armstrong benefited from all those other guys being there. He ended up with 6 tackles. He had a pass
touchdown too.
A pass defensed. A forced
he
fumble.
Probably got credit for it then.
A fumble recovery. They should put that in there.
He had a
touchdown.
And a touchdown too. Yeah.
He had a game.
Yeah.
He had a game.
So from a defensive standpoint, this was about as dominating as I think we've seen a Cowboys defense in quite some time. And I understand, Heineke, Kyle Allen, that's fine. But they shut down Washington's running game
that was as impressive as anything.
Like 5 of 6 games, they had at least 112 yards rushing and twice 190 yards rushing going into that game. And they shut them down. And the other thing,
forced them into 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10.
Right.
Yep.
And I don't think I've ever seen a halftime stat like this. Washington's net passing yards at halftime was -7.
-7 yards.
-7.
I saw that. Oh, my goodness.
And then the game ended up 27-20.
I know. What is going on? But you know what I liked about this? This is one of those games I'm always, throwing love to Pittsburgh and Baltimore about how they win ugly. No matter what, they could easily stumble and do something stupid and just flip all over themselves. This game was that game. This win was that game. It was controlled defensively. No matter how much our offense would screw up, we got this. This is easy. The frenzy is on, like you said. It's a feeding frenzy. And that's the kind of playoff football that you want. That's playoff football on the road, hostile stadium. A team that came in with, 4-0? 4 wins in a row?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know who those wins were, but
one was Tampa Bay.
Come on now.
Tampa Bay, Carolina.
The last one was Vegas. And
And in this day and time, the way these games are, the way everyone's beating everyone,
Seattle.
any win's a quality win.
The Raiders,
Any
Seattle,
win's a quality
Panthers,
win.
and Bucks. Yeah.
yeah.
And they hadn't given up more than 21 points in any of those 4 games, and 15 in the last 2.
Well, they still haven't given up more.
That's
than
true.
defense still
Yeah,
hasn't given
I
up
got
more than
you.
21.
Yeah.
They still gave up 20, but still, that's a decent defense. And the Cowboys' problems, and I know we'll get into that, but they moved the football, they got to the red zone, and they only converted one of, really 5 attempts in the red zone into a touchdown, because the last one they ended up at the 19 at the end of the game, and they didn't care. But they were moving it, and then they got inside the 20, and they bogged down and had to kick field goals. Otherwise, this thing could have been 45-14.
But on the other hand, the defense put them in such good field position all the time.
Right.
It's still a big disappointment.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, you could say how close we were, but you were set up well more times than not by the defense.
So I saw after the game when they shook hands, McCarthy and Rivera, there was a little smile going on.
They were exchanging pleasantries.
Yeah, it was almost like Rivera knew what he was
Yeah,
doing.
he did.
And McCarthy
Yeah, he did.
knew
And
what
McCarthy,
he was doing.
Right,
too.
yeah,
right.
exactly. They kind of
Now,
laughed
I think
to
probably
each
I
other.
would love, maybe NFL Films maybe it'll come out at some point this week, the actual audio of what was said.
Right.
But one of them said to the other one probably something about winning the game,
Right.
the guarantee, quote unquote guarantee, and they laughed about it.
Yeah.
I bet you.
Yeah, I told you so.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you see Mike McCarthy being that guy? Buddy Ryan type of guy. Come on, no, that's just you can't even see that.
And Rivera's not either. That
Not at
type
all.
Of guy,
Not at all, man.
And I'm sure he probably said no harm intended, and Rivera probably said, "Oh, say."
Yeah, I know,
Right?
I know.
Just had to say.
Well,
what
they may
I
have
to
said,
say.
they may have talked before the game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, but it was interesting. Yeah. All right, so looking at we're going to get into the end of the game in the next segment. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds real
all
good.
right, and all right. So others who, off the top, you want to point out.
So before we go any further, I keep hearing people wanting to know, okay, how close are they to wrapping up the NFC East with 4 games to go?
Mm-hmm.
So if I've got this figured out correctly, their magic number to clinch is 3, meaning any amount of Cowboys victories and/or Washington or Philadelphia losses that get to 3 would eliminate, depending on which of them lose, then the Cowboys would clinch. So here's the easy way to look at it. If the Cowboys win 2 more games, Washington can't get to 11. Because there's only 4 games left and they're stuck at 6 right now, right? Same thing with Philadelphia. If the Cowboys win 2 more games, and if the Cowboys win 2 games and beat Philadelphia, they can't get to 11. And they've got to play each other. So somebody's
playing
gonna
this week.
lose. That's right. 2 of the next 3 games they play each other. Somebody's got to lose.
Here's the easy way that I look at it. Okay, if the Cowboys beat the Giants this week, the loser of the Washington-Philadelphia game is out.
Is out,
That's
exactly.
right.
And then if it happens to be Washington winning, then if the Cowboys beat them the next week,
then
they're
that
out.
clinches the division.
Right. So
The other thing that will clinch it, and I realize it doesn't happen very
tie.
often, but if Dallas wins and Washington and Philadelphia tie, the Cowboys would win the division
because
Sunday.
neither of them could catch
Right.
up with them, right? They don't
Yeah.
have enough wins.
So there you go.
And if you look at it, 9 wins, that's more than they've had since
It's a winning season.
2018,
Hey,
right?
this is a winning season.
That's right. How many people predicted a winning season before the season started?
I did.
Because they were judging off of 6 and 10, right?
I asked you guys before. Did you have a preseason?
Yeah, I had them in the Super Bowl.
No, record wise. Record wise.
I think,
regular season.
let's see, with a 17-game season, it's confusing. I had them at 10 or 11 wins.
I had 10.
Yeah.
I had 10.
I said that they would reverse last year's. So it was 6-10.
6-10.
So I said 10-6, and I'm
Man,
going, okay,
they're-
wait,
yeah,
I'm
10,
one
so they're
game
gonna
off.
struggle down the stretch.
So it was either going to be 11-6 or 10-7.
Hey, there's the other part of this. That best record in the NFC is within reach. I mean, and pay close attention to this game tonight.
That's
Arizona
right.
is
This
hosting
is a
the
huge
Rams
game
tonight. Arizona has 2 losses right now.
In Arizona, right?
It's in Arizona. Now, the Rams also, they're sitting there. They could, I don't have these standings in front of
I
me.
do.
But, okay.
Well, there are 3 losses.
They have 3. So if the Rams lose, they would have the same record as the Cowboys at 9-4.
Right.
All right. And then the only other 2 teams that are between Dallas and Arizona are Tampa Bay and Green Bay, who are both 10-3 right now.
And one game ahead of them.
Right.
So
if
Tampa Bay has the tiebreaker.
So if the Rams beat the Cardinals tonight, then Arizona, Tampa Bay, and Green Bay would all be 10-3. Dallas and the Rams would be 9-4.
They're not going to beat them.
And here,
Arizona's winning this game.
And here's the key thing on all that too: the Cowboys are 7-1 in the NFC. They have the best NFC conference record against NFC teams.
Impressive.
So. And that's the second tiebreaker, I believe, when it comes to the seeding. So they're sitting pretty there.
How is Arizona's schedule on the way out?
Arizona has to play Detroit, Indianapolis, Dallas, and Seattle.
So
that Indy game is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Indy's
That's going to be tough.
Yeah, Indy's tough.
I'd love to see that game.
Really, what we're looking at if the Cowboys could really use if we're intent on catching Arizona, is have the Rams beat Arizona tonight, and then the Cowboys, if they can, basically win out. And then which would mean a victory over Arizona, they would have the same record as Arizona and have the tiebreaker if it wound up in a head-to-head, a two-way tie. But now you also got to deal with Tampa Bay and Green Bay in that scenario.
And here's the other thing: even if you don't get the top seed, if you get the second seed, you're playing a lesser team of the wild card dudes.
Right.
So. There's something to be said for playing out this season.
So, I mean, as it stands right now, though, Dallas has the 4th best record of the division leaders. Arizona at number 1, and then Tampa Bay and Green Bay are at 2 and 3, and then Dallas at 4. So you would that is not ideal.
Because you'd
end
be
up facing the 5th seed
the Rams.
in the first round of the playoffs.
And at this point, it would be the Rams.
Yeah.
And
So
I don't know that you want to do that again.
We've been down that road before.
Too many times.
Hey, he wasn't even here in 1980, remember? Cowboys, Rams. Billy Waddy, remember? Going across the field, touchdown, Hail Mary. Like, come on, what's going on?
That was before you corrected things in that Cowboys secondary.
That's right, baby.
Except for 83 and 85.
Yeah, well, I was there for that.
Yeah. And that was just running the football.
Yes. I still have a little.
Eric Dickerson
I still have a little
running.
horseshoe on my hand. Yeah, he put it right on my hand right there.
Eric Dickerson, who, by the way, went into the College Football Hall of Fame.
Oh,
last
nice.
week. How did it take him that long to get into the College Football Hall of Fame? I don't know.
SMU, maybe.
And he talks too much on documentaries. Yeah, he should sometimes just be quiet.
All right, Pony Express. All right, we gallop into our next segment in just a moment. And no, there won't be as much positivity in this next segment of Mick Shots.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to Mick Shots.
Dak Prescott is the Cowboys nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award presented by Nationwide, recognizing NFL players for outstanding community service activities off the field and excellence on the field. Help Dak earn $25,000 donation to his Faith Fight Finish Foundation by voting on Twitter. Tweet hashtag WPMOY challenge followed by Dak Prescott through January 17th. Vote Dak.
All right.
Boy,
Very good.
That was degree of difficulty. Was real high on that.
WPO.
Oh, you got down on all of that, bro.
WPMOY
I thought you were
challenge.
just making stuff up at first, but I think you actually made sense.
And then you talk about faith, fight, and finish.
There you go.
And yesterday morning, a member of our crew had a lot of faith, he had a lot of fight, and he finished his outdoor run, I am seeing here, at the Dallas Half Marathon. Not the full marathon.
Not the full
but the
marathon.
half marathon.
Yes,
Everson
sir.
Walls. I've got the detail. You wanted to reveal the details?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. Everson Walls, total calories burned, 2,061 from 9:11 a.m. until 11:52 a.m. 2 hours and 41 minutes. He covered 13.15 miles. And you know what your average heart rate was?
I think it was like 149.
149.
That's
Holy
crazy,
cow.
bro. And my heart does not beat fast at all. We have slow heart.
Average pace, 12 minutes, 16 seconds a mile.
Dude, I didn't start walking until almost 4.57, and after that, I couldn't stopping, you know. And so when I walk, I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna walk real fast. So about 15 minutes a mile pace walking. But the jog, oh man, I stopped so many times. But I still got that time. So that's the only.
And your buddy Timmy Newsome, former Cowboy, you were on his heels.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He was 2:33, and Tim usually does full marathons. He travels to do full marathons. For some reason, he says when he's at home, he only does half. I don't know why that is. And of course, who else are we talking about? Scott Purcell.
We did the full marathon.
Full marathon. He was the man. He went 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Wow.
Man, that's something else.
Mickey, what's the farthest you've ever run?
10K.
Okay.
Did it
8 miles?
What is that?
6 point.
Is it six?
Yeah, 6.2.
6.2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it about three times. Although one time I was like went out way too fast and I got within 2 miles of the finish, mile and a half, and I made the mistake on a very hot day to run through. Somebody was hosing everybody down.
Yeah.
And it went through the water, and then all of a sudden I felt my body getting chills.
Yeah.
And I go, you know what? I've finished this thing twice. I am not going to pass out this
You
third
quit?
time. I quit and
He
walked.
quit?
I walked the rest of the way.
Oh, but you finished.
Oh, I finished.
Yeah, as long as you finished.
But when I stopped, I was at a buddy's house, and I sat and drank 2 beers.
So you finished.
But I finished.
Ish.
And I said, you know what? I'm not. And it was finished finishing at Faurot Field in Columbia. And I said, I'm not gonna run after I walked the last basically half mile. I said, I'm not gonna get to the track and make a triumphant run around for the 440.
Yeah.
And I walked.
No, I did the same. I was. Man, after a while, when you stop so many times, it's really easier to stop every time. And I'm thinking about you. I could just hear, the more times you stop, the closer you are to quitting. That's what went through my head when I was. And I swear, that's what went through my head. So I was like, I'm going to keep on going. So I was
Mickey
like you.
Inspired.
Yeah, but he de-inspired me.
I had all these friends coming by because we were sitting out in his front yard. And they're going, come on, let's go. I go, no, I'm done. That's it. I'm done.
No, I made the trot in, though. Yeah. I mustered up that much energy after I walked a lot.
And then to prove that I could do it again, at some point when I lived here, I did it in Las Colinas. I ran a 10K, and I finished.
And this was the 50th, so it's kind of special. It was 50th.
Yeah, that was cool. Good for you.
Not to take anything away from your 2 hour and 41 minute
but the
time.
winner
of the full marathon was what? 2 hours?
1 hour,
20 minutes?
2 hours and change, yeah.
I saw them. You can
you
see
imagine
You're
that?
running right by them because at one point they're running, alongside, but the rope is between us. And dude, they don't even look human. They're just lean and just. Some short, and they're just like the whole time.
I mean, you're talking a 6 minute mile for 26 miles.
That's crazy.
I can't run 1 mile in 6 minutes.
Dude, I almost locked up a couple of times. I mean, I've never
Your
had
legs?
that feeling. Yeah, my hamstrings were just dying. It was bad. It was bad.
Well, speaking of locking up in the fourth quarter.
Tell me about it. On the stretch, doing the stretch home.
All right. So what's your take on it? I described it as a near colossal collapse.
I mean, it's like I've seen that happen before with Washington, right? Remember what was the play? There was an interception and then a face mask that got Washington into field goal range for the final play, and they kicked a winning field goal against the Cowboys, right?
Yep.
I didn't really feel that kind of doom, but I was concerned on how we are not performing when we really need to perform well.
Well, you know how I described it afterwards? I said, at the beginning, the Cowboys, the way they played took your breath away. Yeah. And by the time it finished, they had you holding your breath.
It's kind of getting to be a pattern, and this concerns me.
It's just like the New Orleans game the week before.
What happens when you cannot run the football effectively because you can't close out games, and to get that extra possession to kill the clock, you're kind of forced to go, okay, I'm going to have to throw it here, and let's throw a safe pass. And for some reason, Dak's decision wasn't good. I know there was a guy in his face, but I think
he should have seen him way before that.
But at that point, you just got to throw it away.
No, but he should have seen him way before the guy came into his view. We've been getting this pattern here with him down the stretch. It's like he loses his confidence, and it has nothing to do with technique. His shoulder looks fine. The flight of the ball is great.
His leg's fine. Everybody's like something's wrong with him physically.
He loses his touch, and he's becoming more and more hesitant in the situations where we need a play. I think there is still too much hesitancy in not wanting to run. I think that
although he ran,
but there are times when he should make up his mind immediately if you have that much confidence in running.
The way I look at it is that was a situation where you need not to make a play. And from this, don't take a chance. You can't. And the same thing happened in the New Orleans game where it's a double-digit lead. And remember the play on the interception. It's like they were panicked. It was a 20-10 game, and the Cowboys were acting as if they were behind 20-10, trying to get this play off and make sure everybody's on the same page, and everything's going crazy and everything's hectic. We throw it over the middle and it's intercepted.
Bill, we're losing our poise when we have the advantage,
right?
And that makes zero sense to me.
Exactly. Yeah,
and it's something that you do not expect from a team we have young guys up front, but the ones that are making these bad decisions, they're veterans. And they're guys that are accustomed to making plays in much tougher situations than that. I saw Dak throw some crazy passes, and then all of a sudden you see him drop a dime to Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
That you go, wow. And so the inconsistency is not just about when it happens. It's why the inconsistency. And that bothers me from just a mental standpoint. We need to be more comfortable with ourselves going down the stretch offensively.
Let me add to the uncomfortableness. He ended up getting sacked 4 times. He ended up getting hit 5 times. This doesn't
unnecessary.
This doesn't happen normally. 5 of his passes were batted down, and he ends up running the ball 7 times for 15 yards. Now, he's not running the ball because they're called runs or they're RPOs. They're running to keep from getting sacked.
That's right.
So, some reason this offensive line is just not functioning. And to make it worse, they end up without both starting offensive tackles for the final quarter because one gets thrown out for sticking up with his quarterback, which everybody wanted him to do last year, right? And then there's a price to pay.
Yes, it is.
And then Tyron goes out with, aggravating that foot injury again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's never good to have Steele and Nsekhe playing your offensive tackles for nearly a quarter.
But now, even saying all of that, that can lead to our inability to move the ball. That leads to our inability to get third downs, to finish drives. I get that. But as a quarterback, you are the person that needs to make the right decision that can counter whatever faults you're having. You have to be better, and he has been better. And all of a sudden, he's not better.
It's like the decisions are bad.
That's all it is. It's the decisions. It's not the ability at all.
Exactly.
And that worries me. Like, what is going on with his?
It's situational awareness. I mean, there is. You take over with 5:09 left in the game. They had just cut your lead to 13 points. All right, and Clement carried for 3 yards. You're facing 2nd and 7. And that interception, the touchdown was scored at 4:13 left in the game. Mm-hmm. All right, if you just run, and I'm talking whether it's Dak or Kellen Moore or whatever, you just run the ball twice, and you're taking at least 2 minutes off the clock where they're getting the football back with basically 2.5 minutes left, and they're down 13 points, and you've punted the ball away. They got to drive the length of the field. It just took them 5 minutes in the fourth quarter to go all the way down the field against you. They're not going to be able to do it twice. The only way that they can come back in this game is if you do what you did.
You can't be cute with time management. Mm-hmm. You just can't. You got to be smart.
Even after that, they got the ball back with 4:07 left, and they had a 3-and-out. And the last it was 3rd and 3, and they tried to throw a slant to Gallup, and it was incomplete. And now,
at that point, you're only up 6 or up 7. You're up 7,
right?
And you got to get a first down,
right?
And so I got no quarrel with throwing at that. But the game's on again at that point. Now, to your point,
the guy knew he was
Zeke was back in the game, and you have to be able to run the football well enough to put away teams in the fourth quarter.
That's playoff football.
Yeah, and then the worst part was that. You don't pick it up. It's 4th and 3, and Anger, who's hitting 50 and 60-yard punts, it's like a 40-yarder.
Thank God for the defense.
Yes.
Okay. Thank God they did everything they could.
Thank God the guy dropped the ball on the pass down the side.
Man, that was a really beautiful pass.
It was.
I got to say, we got a break on that one.
It was right
there. I don't know what he's stumbling for. Just catch the ball and fall. I think he wanted to score.
All right. What do you think of the fumble that was reviewed, on whether it was a pass or a fumble?
I was with Dean Blandino. I didn't think there was enough evidence to reverse the call.
I think it was a good call and should not have been reversed. I think it was a good call from the get.
What if it was Dak?
No.
It still would have.
The ball, his hand, did not come forward with the ball in his possession.
And that's what he said, with control.
Right.
That's the key right there. Even when he was going forward, by that time he had lost control. So to me, that word there made the difference. Okay, it went forward, but you're going forward. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's going to be going forward, but you did not have control of it even when your hand was going forward.
All right, we've got more.
And by the way, if they had ruled it a pass, does he get called for grounding? Because he wasn't throwing it to anybody.
There was nobody.
Well,
he was getting hit, right?
You're getting hit, yeah. That's
okay.
right. Yeah. So, all right, we continue with more Mick shots in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Send your favorite Dallas Cowboy players to the 2022 Pro Bowl. Vote for each player by visiting NFL.com/Pro Bowl or by tweeting or retweeting posts with hashtag Pro Bowl vote and the player's name. Vote for your boys today.
All right. Final 8 minutes of Mick shots here.
And to finish what we were talking about, I still think his elbow came down out of bounds on that
before the knee. Before the knee.
Yes.
Wait. We weren't talking about this on the air. We were in the break.
That's
we were
what
talking
I said,
about
what we were talking about before we came back for break.
We need to go ahead and let the listener know what we were talking about, because we have not even mentioned the Cam Sims touchdown on the air. Okay, so the Cam Sims touchdown, Mickey says it should not have been a touchdown.
Me and the guy that was standing right next to it. Right?
Trayvon?
No. The official
when he ruled
that he was out of bounds. He was out of bounds.
Well, I thought he was inbounds. I thought his knee hit first, and I hated to make that call.
I thought his elbow hit before
the only
his
thing
knee
I was
hit.
waiting to see is when his elbow hit, if he still had control of the ball. But I couldn't see. I didn't have a good shot of that. I don't think they ever showed a good shot of that. That's the only thing.
And that's the case. If call on the field is incomplete, then there's not enough evidence to overturn.
They went with the knee. You know, when John Madden says one knee is worth 2 feet, then they're going to take that to the bank.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But the elbow, I thought, hit out of bounds first. And think about how well the defense played, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Because that got them to 14 points. Otherwise, they would have had 7.
Well,
and 8 takeaways in 2 games.
And you know, we always count our blessings, and we should, because as much as we just pointed out some mistakes that Dak made. There were about 3 interceptions they should have caught. And the once again, passes that were just...
Anthony Brown had 2 of them.
Oh, wow. Man, come on. One of them was like going, you know how you do warm-ups? Yeah. Pat and go. They call it pat and go. At the beginning of the game.
That was the first
DBs,
one, right?
wide receivers line up. We run down the sideline. You know, guys like Troy and Romo and Danny White, they throw you the ball and you catch it, and everybody plays wide receiver just to warm up.
Who had the other one? Was it Diggs?
No, Diggs, he actually turned around to look for the ball on his other knockdown.
No, maybe that was it. I just thought there was
and
another one.
He tried to kind of put his hands up, but yeah.
So tell me this. Have we changed the identity of this team? Is it a defensive team now and not an offensive team?
I think they're both an inconsistent team. You know? I wish the defense could play like this all the time, but they don't. I wish Jordan Lewis could be that dude every game. But sometimes he's completely the other dude.
He gets lost.
Yeah, but this game, he was amazing. I mean, you're proud of him one game, and then you're like baffled.
So what we were talking about last week, I said going into the 15th.
Knee down. Yeah.
What?
The knee is down. The knee is
I'm
down.
showing
That's
Everson the shot. There's a shot of Cam Sims. It's from a ground level end zone shot. I'm going to show you, Mickey.
Elbows up, knee is down.
It appears the knee is down before the elbow is down.
Yeah, it appears. I like the way you use those words.
There you go.
You try to be diplomatic.
Take a look at it there.
In other words, he said, "Look, you blind bat." That's what he's saying. Look, you blind bat.
What, you don't think his elbow's down?
No.
It's not down yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
That's just the angle. It looks kind of funny. Yeah, look at it. See, there you go.
Hit play on it. Hit play on it.
No, go dial it.
Left-hand corner down the bottom, and you'll see the knee.
Okay, I saw it.
There you go.
No. Just go Q and on. There you go.
Yeah, don't ever give in.
That's right.
Oh, that was fun.
So,
are you giving in?
He is.
Did we win?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because I never got to see that.
Yeah.
I don't think that
great
ever
shot.
came up.
It's off the game broadcast.
So this defense, here's the weird thing on the defense, is going into the Saints game, they were 15th in total defense. After the Saints game, they were 27th.
Yeah.
And now they're 10th.
Come on, man.
They're 10th.
Come on, man. Get out of here. Get out of here, dude. Hey, guess what? Once it took me a while to make the run. I was on the way home, so I had to listen to Brad.
You got to listen to Brad. You didn't have to listen
Thank
to
you,
Brad.
sir.
There you go.
I agree with you on that.
Who else was he going to listen to?
Certainly not the other guy.
Babe?
Oh. Anyway, just the other guy. So, no, he talked about how, God, what were we talking about? So you got me okay.
Total defense.
Total defense. Third downs.
Yes.
The Dallas Cowboys are one of the top third down defensive teams in the NFL.
Yes.
Which is ridiculous. On the other hand, when it comes to 3rd and 10 plus, they're one of the worst.
Because they give up that big
What is
play.
happening? What is going on? You know?
I think they back
Too
off.
many tipping points we got going here, man. You know?
That's when you need to send them boys in the
That's
front.
when you go. It's time to kill it.
They're going for too many picks and they're giving up big
that's
plays.
when that's
charge.
That's when that's when you're supposed to kill it. That's when you're supposed to put the knee on the neck. But not this time. That's when they give it up.
They aren't running enough picket fence defenses to keep the 10-yard
picket fence defense.
The Marinelli, the picket fence, where you line them all up at
they're third
at the first down.
They're third and 20, and they let them throw underneath.
And you have everybody at the first
down.
down
And they gain 18,
marker.
right? So it's like, okay, you got off the field, but you could have had them punting 2 first downs further
I mean, when
away.
it's all said and done, that's the mentality anyway.
I guess.
When it's all said and done. But you just start off from a different position.
You know, the other thing, the Cowboys are 12th in points allowed, 22.1. And get this. After, what did they end up with? Like 320-some yards total offense, whatever it was. They're now number 2 in total offense. They're 1 yard a game behind Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And when it comes to points, they're now 29.2. They're second. Tampa Bay's 31.5.
Well, let's look at of course, I like this.
So
one of the
darn
shows,
it, this offense.
one of the shows I always talk about putting things into perspective. As you look at just those two teams, Cowboys, Bucks. The Bucks, since the loss, they seem to have righted the ship. They seem to be on a better path than we are
since getting beat
momentum-wise
by Washington.
Yes, and even though record-wise, we had a stumble. Now 2 in a row, so you could say 3 out of 4 we won. Correct?
They're like 3-3 after being.
Let's just
6
let's
and
don't count the bad ones.
6 and 3-3 after 6
last
and
4.
1. The last 4.
You're talking about Cowboys?
2 and 2. Lost 2
and 2
straight and won 2 straight.
Okay, so let's look at the one. Let's look at the last 3 then. We won 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So once again, the path sounds good, from just hearing it, but from what we've seen, it's the inconsistency is still there. And that makes me nervous.
I'm looking at Tampa Bay. Since that loss to Washington on November 14th, they've won 4 straight games against the Giants, at Indianapolis, at Atlanta, and Buffalo. And they've scored 30 or more points in all 4 of those games.
That's pretty quality.
You know who else
quality.
righted the ship after beating the Cowboys? Basically, it was Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't lost since.
And they're tied for the best record in the AFC now.
And look at how they're doing it.
And then guess who went the other
Very
direction?
unspectacularly.
After the Raiders beat the Cowboys in overtime, they hadn't won another game.
Oh, is that something? And they've been losing badly.
See, that's
they just played 2.
Well,
but they lost badly.
Washington,
they lost badly.
Washington and Kansas
City.
Yes,
come on.
And they had lost 2 before that, also. I think. So
they were not.
That's not bad.
See, that's the loss.
That's the losses that hurt.
Stick in your throat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Kansas City beat me at home 19-9. Fine. The Denver one, those things happen, but losing to the Raiders like that, they're just horse bleep.
Look at this. I'm like
America's rivalry.
You know what?
Like a little kid.
We almost
gonna get my stuff autographed.
We almost had another.
You almost
chapter.
had another chapter there. They come back. You know what that play reminded me of? It reminded me of when in 92 when the Cowboys were going to clinch the NFC East, and they were at Washington. Remember the fumble in the end zone? And then Emmett went to try to pick it up, and
I got to tell this story. I was in the locker room after that game, and Jimmy, it was so tense in that locker room. And so there's reporters crowded around Jimmy, and it's just quiet. Everyone's afraid to ask questions, I guess. And so Jimmy said his bit, and then maybe somebody asked a question, and it's just silence, and you just hear the smacking of Jimmy's lips. and then finally, I broke the silence. I said, "So, are you upset about the play in the end zone?"
Lord. That is
and
not a good one.
Jimmy says, "I'm upset about a lot of things," and he stormed off.
That was it?
That was it.
Oh, no.
God.
That
was not it. Because
the flight home. When they got in the flight home and they were serving dinner, and he cut off food service. He got mad at somebody that was kind of yucking it up, eating a meal.
Yeah.
And they no more food. Get the food out of here. We're not eating.
Are you proud of me for having the guts to ask a question, though?
I don't think it wouldn't have mattered what you said. He was going to walk off the stage.
That's right.
It didn't matter
exactly
what
right.
you said.
That's
but yeah,
right.
I think maybe the fact that you said it, he's like, Bill's cool. You know what I mean? It would have been something like
here's another Jimmy story. You know, there's the famous one where the Monday after a loss, and Ed Werder, it was in the library at Valley Ranch, and it's kind of informal press conference, not carried by on the radio or anything.
Yeah.
What was it that Ed smirked or something? I don't know what.
Jimmy said something, and I don't know.
Jimmy was getting up to leave.
And Ed laughed at something like, "Oh, yeah, ha, ha, ha," or something like that, right?
And so as Jimmy's walking out of the library, he says, "Something funny, Ed? Something humorous?
Yes.
Something funny, Ed? Something humorous?" And he storms off. Well, then there's another time. It was myself and John Radigan. It was the big Tuesday press conference in the team meeting room. And John and I were sitting up in the far corner of it. I wasn't planning on asking any questions or anything.
You're not gonna fall for it twice.
Yeah. And so Radigan showed me something that was funny or what, I don't remember. And so we were laughing.
Oh, God. Have you guys not learned?
And so Jimmy looks up at me and he says, "You got a question, Bill?" I said, "No, I'm good." So it was one of those. He's just dead serious.
Yeah,
you know, he's so mad, whatever. And so he basically stormed out of the meeting room. That was back when we used to have, Jerry would serve us lunch at the branch. So we're leaving, and we were in the players' parking lot. Media could park in the players' parking lot and everything. Jimmy, this is half hour later. I'm leaving, going to my car. Jimmy is coming in from his noon jog.
That's right.
In the parking lot. He sees me across the parking lot and laughing yells at me, "You got a question, Bill?"
Lord,
like that. It was all just an act.
Always.
Yeah.
It always.
That's what I try to tell everybody. Come on, get out of here, Jimmy, with that.
You remember the time? You remember the time in the team meeting room? He got huffy about something and he stormed off. He just walked out of the press conference, right? And I found out later he was already planned because he wanted to set the tone for Wednesday.
Yeah.
When the guys
right.
came
They do the players like that all the time.
Yeah.
They do the players like that all the time.
Because he knows they're watching.
They're going to
right?
pick somebody.
Yeah.
That's going to be the guy that's going to be using it for an example or something like that.
And I'm not saying that being critical of it. I think that was just his coaching acumen.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you are. You have a reason.
Or the time John Roper fell asleep in the team meeting, right? And they were all getting up to leave, and they were going to wake Roper up, and Jimmy's like, no, let him sit there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And he ends up waking up in an empty room, right? And Bruce Mays walks in and says, "Get your playbook. Jimmy wants to talk to you."
Oh, that's bad.
And then Jimmy always says, if it was Michael or Emmett, he would have got him a pillow.
It's sort of like the story.
And that I don't like. The
story.
Be true to the game, man.
The story I told you about Michael missing the charter flight to Detroit, right? And Michael had to pay for the flight to get there himself, and then Jimmy calls him in and basically says, "Okay, your punishment is you're out the first series of the game. You're benched." So Norm finds out about it, right? Norv Turner, he finds out about it and he tells Jimmy, he goes, "So if we kick off, is that the first possession?"
Is that the first?
Yeah, because
Detroit has the ball first.
Yeah, he actually caught it. That's a possession. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, dang. How far
we went way over here.
So
All
that's
right.
you guys.
All right.
I've just been entertained. I was not telling any stories.
All right. And we will be back with a shortened version of Mick's shots tomorrow.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?